So let's see. There we go. Now I see people in the chat. Hi, guys. Hi, Dave. Hi, 79910313. Hi, Daniel Freinhofer. Hi, Captain Quirk. Sorry, guys, for the confusion there. It helps if I link to the proper thing, because it was just sending people to my channel and not to the stream. But I think I got it set up properly now. Hello, Nick Montalvo. Are they dinosaurs? Yeah, I got dinosaur. This is a dress. Phelan got this for me for Christmas or my birthday, one of those. Yeah, see? Got a dress. All pretty. Cat staring at me. Yeah, the state of my living room is not great. It's kind of always like this. Yeah, I'm kind of greasy looking too. Sorry about that. Sorry to break the illusion that I got myself together. Kind of greasy looking. So how you guys doing? I hope everyone's doing good. I hope a lot of people show up. I was confused at first. I sent the wrong link. No one is here. I was like, oh man, what if no one shows up to this? This is gonna be so sad. Hola. Oh, hi, Greg. Why? Greg's my friend, and he's in the Patreon chat there. Would it help if I had someone in here with me? I don't want to like corral people into doing these streams with me because like, you know, I don't want them to help me with my work, but I don't want to have to force them into that. But I don't know, like, is it weird if it's just me talking to you guys? Then again, you came for me and me only, the coolest. If you hear jingling, that's my cat licking. You can see her ear in the bottom there, cleaning herself down there. Yeah, when I announced that, I haven't done one of these in a while. When I announced this, like, I called it a Q&A again, but that's not really accurate. It's more of a hangout, because, like, I think after so many of these, you run out of questions for people. I don't know how big of a mystery I am, so hopefully we'll have things to talk about and just be cool. Someone edit the green. Yeah, I guess you could green screen. You could screen this so that it's just the dinosaurs, and it could be like a Miss Frizzle dress, you know, dinosaurs, but there's like motion in the background. That'd be fun. All right, cool. First timer. Hi, Rod Roliv. Rodral IV. Rodro Live. Hi to any first timers. I've gotten a lot of new patrons in the recent month after events. So welcome and thank you for your support. Thank you to everyone. I don't know how many people are in here right now. Where do I see how many viewers there are? Oh, okay, I see. 14. All right. Less than the amount of people that are actually patronizing me. Ash is better. Yeah. Yeah, for people who don't know, Ash, she was sick for a while. She lost a lot of weight, and she's really skinny, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. I thought she was gonna die. It was really, really sad. But I got her diagnosed with EPI, which is endocrine pancreatic insufficiency. Basically, she doesn't produce the enzyme she needs to digest food, and apparently it's really rare in cats. So I got one of the unique ones. But now I just give her an enzyme. She's gained the weight back, and she's doing good. So, and it shouldn't affect her life any as long as I give her enzymes with her food. So that's a fun story for you guys. I have a rare easel, yeah. Yeah, I posted pictures of her up on Twitter today. Every time I post a picture, if it's got Ash in it, automatically it gets like 300 likes on it, like way more likes if it's got a cat in it. Someone's just seeing a thumbnail picture. You guys are seeing me, right? You're not, it's not just a picture. I thought it was streaming the video. Oh, you guys were talking about my dress anyway. Of course it's got the video. Sorry, Veldegast. I don't know what's going on, man. Or ma'am. I'd have to refresh. Hiya, Faceless Critic. I remember you. Remember a lot of you guys. Hi, ADMMCCCXXXV. I. Well, it seems Valdegast is getting audio, but not video. Or maybe they're just seeing what everyone else is writing. So, I got a lot of stuff going on. I do want to thank you guys because of your Patreon support. I got to, a little while ago, got to the milestone to do the Charmed Season 9 comics. And I've been working on those for a while. It's just long. They're always long, which is why Manic Episodes stopped being these season-long things, because it was just, it just cuts into so much stuff. It's very exhausting. But I'm glad to do these. Like, I really enjoyed how, I liked how the Charmed videos turned out. They're some of my most popular rewatched videos. So, doing the Charmed comics is a lot of fun. It's just long, but I've been working on it. Something reflecting out there. I've been working on it, and it's got about 26 pages of script for it, which is it's done now. I just need to record it and edit it and all this stuff, and I've been doing it in between my normal projects, which is why it's been taking so long. But it is in the works, and there's a lot of interest now because that new series is coming out in the fall. And honestly, I'm surprised that this took me by surprise, that this caught me off guard, because everyone talks to me about every little piece of Charm news. So anytime there was a reboot announced, everyone's got to send it to me, like a million people. And so I knew that they had commissioned a pilot, but then all of a sudden there's like a trailer and it's coming out in the fall, and it blindsided me. Like, I didn't know it was coming out this soon. So that's coming out, and a lot of people have been interested in it. I announced it on Twitter, but there's some police in the background here. I announced it on Twitter, but what I'm going to do with the new series is I'm going to podcast it as the episodes come out with Phelan. At least he said he would do it with me. And then depending on how interesting it is, I'll do a Manic Episodes season long. Because I find what's happening with these podcasts that I've been doing, my opinion kind of changes as it goes along, because it's really difficult to tell how good a show is until you get a perspective overall of what it is. Because sometimes there's things that are enjoyable about specific episodes, but everything doesn't quite come together. So it depends on how interesting it actually is, and if I have anything to say about it once it comes together as an entire season. So that's what's going to be happening with that. I don't know how I feel about the trailer. It just seems kind of strange to me right now. It doesn't look that different. I don't know if they're doing really their own take on it. It does seem like they're embracing the Buffy ripoff a little more, but we'll see what they do with it. I got a whole bunch of other stuff going on right now. I'm editing Tremor 6. That one, I filmed that, and that should be coming out within the week. I wrote it all down. I'm contributing to a Howling companion book, so I'm going to be writing that, and that's something that's going to be released in November. Probably tweet more about that the closer it comes, but I'm writing up something for that. Let's see. Oh, I've got some videos coming up on Superman, on the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. I have not seen them, So I decided to do some videos on them, a perspective of someone who has never seen them before. So I've got one of those recorded, and that's going to be coming out. Uh, I'm talking forever about a quantum leap series that I want to do, and I announced I was going to do it in 2018, and I didn't know it was going to be this delayed. I still want to do it, but it keeps getting delayed because I got so many other projects going on. I wanted to finish the Charmed video before I started another series project because I've already got Baywatching going on, Baywatching nights, the regular movie nights. So there's just a lot of stuff happening. But what I want to do is finish the Charmed video and then get started on the Quantum Leap videos. But I have been doing the Quantum Leap podcast in the meantime. If you guys have been following my tweets, the Quantum Leap podcast is basically the best kind of extra features Quantum Leap never got. They've got lots of interviews with people involved with the show, and recently the hosts, the full-time hosts of the podcast had to step away because of life stuff, and I had done a guest podcast for them with a couple of other guys on their crew. Because of the lost ending negatives that I discovered, and they liked it, so they asked me if I would come on with them and become one of the full-time hosts. So I have. So about halfway into the series, basically, is when I've jumped in and gotten to do some really cool interviews. I got to talk to Susan Dial, who was in the series finale and also season 2 finale. She played Beth. I got to talk to Tommy Thompson, who was one of the producers and writers on the show. He was also a showrunner on The Dead Zone, which was a show I really enjoyed way back when. So just lots of cool stuff. And so I've been involved with that, if you guys are curious about other Quantum Leap things, since I never talk about it. And yeah, I got the Rec Tracks thing going on. Riff Tracks, I know their social media guy, Peter Hunter, who's a really nice guy, and he asked me about doing Replica way back when, and since then we've become friends, and he asked me if I wanted to have some review copies. So I've done a couple videos on Riff Tracks movies that they've sent my way that I really enjoyed, and so that's been fun. It's been kind of on the back burner because it's not a paid thing other than the free movies, so I hope to continue doing those as soon as my time frees up, but that's another project that's been in the works. And I think maybe I've covered everything I've been doing so far that I could talk about. Oh, I'm going to be doing a fun crossover in November. I'm not going to tell you guys who it's going to be with. It's going to be with a couple people. And I'm going to be flying out to do that. And I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be really fun. But you guys, I guess you're going to have to hear more about it closer to then. But I've been sent a script for it already, so that's something that's also in the works. So let's see what you guys have been saying. I've been talking enough, so I should interact with you. Sorry, I'm going to go back in the chat here. Someone's watching from the future. They're in May 27th right now. Well, I hope the future's looking pretty good over there. Someone was asking if it was a cat ear in the bottom screen. Yeah, so it's Ash. I hope this is an alright time. I was excuse me. I was trying to set up this stream during a time that was a little easier for people to come in, so it's like sort of in the evening on a weekend. I know a lot of people are doing things on the weekends, so I don't know, maybe, who knows. But I tend to do them kind of during the day, and sometimes I forget that a lot of people have normal jobs where they're doing other things during the daytime. So I was trying to set it a little bit later so that you guys had more of an opportunity to come in. Because these streams, they're exclusive for you guys in the Hangout, but then I make them public later. But if you guys can't come and hang out live, then I think it kind of defeats the point of it being a Patreon exclusive. If I seem like I just steamrolled over some of these things, like if you guys want specifics on some of them, or you want to talk about any of them, like send your questions in here. We'll chat. Is it truly charmed without the god awful fashion choices? There's something kind of missing there, isn't it? Like, I know I made fun of them a lot, but I really just love tacky fashion. So some of it's sort of like charming, if you will. Some of Phoebe's outfits are just ghastly, but there's some that are they're fun. So yeah, I do kind of miss that. I don't really in this new Charmed. If you guys have seen the trailer for the reboot, the two sisters, the Hispanic ones, the actresses look really similar, don't they? Like I thought they were twins at first. They have sort of similar faces and haircuts, and it kind of made it hard to tell them apart. I think maybe once I'm more familiar with them, like it won't seem as much that. But I feel like they should have cast girls that were a little more distinct from each other. Interesting that they did the long lost sister storyline right off the bat as well, kind of blending in the Page story. Sorry, I'm so behind in the chat. Wasn't Susan Dial a recurring character in season 2 of Voyager? She was. Well, she was in a couple of them. She was one of those aliens affected with, what is it called, the phage, that disease where they're like basically alien Frankensteins and they're pieced together. Yeah, she was like a love interest for the Doctor, and I wish they'd gone more into that character because it was fun. Like she was he made her into like a hologram briefly, and they had this whole thing about beauty being skin deep and all that, and I thought that was an interesting dynamic. But yeah, what's with her falling for holograms all the time, huh? um, have you seen the new Solo Star Wars film, Solo: A Star Wars Story? No, I haven't. I haven't even seen Last Jedi. I'm like, I don't see a lot of movies in the theater. Like, I'm a movie critic that just sees a lot of old things, really. Um, I like Star Wars. I'm just not like a super fan. Like, I mean, I liked Force Awakens. I liked the original trilogy. I saw the first two prequels when they came out, but but I've just never been like a big Star Wars nut. So I'm glad that people are into it, but I've just never felt inclined to watch any further, really. I'm glad people are having fun with them. I don't know. What's the consensus on Solo? Is it good? Is it bad? I heard people didn't like the trailer. How did you and the Rift Track social media person meet? He just contacted me out of the blue because he saw my midnight screenings with Brad on the MST3K reunion show. I think he's been a fan of the stuff that we've done before anyway, and he just thought that our videos would fit with what they do, which is great because sometimes I get like offers from people or asking me to promote things or whatever, and it doesn't really fit what I do, so it can get kind of awkward. Like some people are like, I made an independent horror movie, you should talk about it. It's like Evil Dead 2. It's not like Evil Dead 2. It's just a bad movie. Are you excited for the Nut Job 3? Nut Job 3? Did they announce that? Heck yeah. There was a Nut Job ripoff called Get Squirrely. I have the DVD. I haven't watched it yet. I want to do a video on it. But, yeah, heck yeah, Nut Job 3. What Baywatching voice is your favorite? Mine is Stephanie. I don't know. It's hard to pick a favorite. I have a lot of fun with them. I like doing Stephanie. I like doing Caroline. Neely's becoming a favorite. I like doing the evil Neely voice. I'm trying to do kind of kind of an Eartha Kitt. I don't know. Someone said it sounded like Tim Curry, so I don't know how good it is, but as long as it fits Neely. Someone said Barking Mitch is their favorite. Yeah, Mitch is fun. Oh no, I lost where I am. Oh no, is my timing bad? Some people are saying it's super late for them. Well, maybe they don't have anything going on because it's late. Wow, there's a lot of people from all over the place. Sweden, Italy, Aberdeen, Spain, Austria. Wow. Well, hi everyone. I don't know what's so international. It must be all that Baywatch. Number one programming in the world. Someone said Dave says he's super curious about season 9 of Charmed. Um, yeah, the artwork, I'll just say this, it's really bad. It's shockingly bad. it, from what I've heard, they kind of hired out DeviantArt artists for this company that did season 9. They're called Zenescope. Which isn't to say that all DeviantArt artists are bad, but you could tell that they're super green, and it's very strange for an officially released comic. Um, Not great. How do I feel about them aging down the sisters in the reboot? It's fine. I don't mind if they're I mean, I think Phoebe, she went back to college at one point, so I mean, like, it doesn't sound, it's not that out of the realm of, it's not that weird. I mean, it does sort of go into the Buffy thing, I guess, but I don't know, appeal to a younger audience. I could see why they want to do that on the CW. I guess it would be a little more interesting if it was like older ladies, give it a Witches of Eastwick thing. That was a show though, wasn't it? I didn't see it. How much more have you been able to watch Star Trek? Because I never laughed so hard before a review when you reviewed Night in Sick Bay. Oh, thank you. I actually just finished watching all of it, all of Star Trek, except Discovery, because I didn't grow up watching it. I kind of, well, my dad is a Trekkie, so Voyager was the one that he would watch when it was on, and so that's the one I saw the most of. He didn't like DS9, so that's what we watched, and I remember liking it okay, but I had this sort of stigma against Star Trek, I think, because I would see things of like Enterprise when it was like randomly channel surfing, and it would always be the most boring thing. So I would always associate like just a bunch of status reports and really dry, sterile looking spaceships and stuff. So I always thought it would be boring, and but then I finally got into it recently, and I watched all of them in a strange watching order. So Trekkies are kind of upset at my watching order, I think. I just watched them by like what I think would be interesting, and not really like any sort of chronological thing. So I started with Enterprise, not because I thought it was good, but because of Scott Bakula. And then I watched DS9, which was my favorite. I liked DS9 a lot. And then it was Next Generation, and then it was Voyager, and then it was the original series. And we watched the Next Generation movies after we did Next Generation, and then we watched the original movies after. And we watched the original series, then the cartoon, and then the movies. And I haven't watched Discovery. Oh, and we watched the reboot movies too. But we didn't watch Discovery because maybe in the future I'll look at it, but it just seems very kind of depressing. I'm not so into the shows now that are sort of like long mini series where they're very cinematic, and one that's centered on just like a big war. And I know some people have said that it's pretty good, and it might be. Part of it's just modern storytelling in general. Like, I don't know. Sometimes it kind of takes me out of it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out. I'm not in a huge rush, but But yeah, I'm gonna do some more Star Trek Manic episodes. That's another thing that's sort of on the back burner. I have a couple selected from the original series and the animated series that I want to do as well. And you can probably guess which episode from the original series it is. Solo equals If they made a Star Wars movie with Dean Stockwell and Scott Bakula, hell yeah, I'd be in on that. Yeah. Solo is okay, but doesn't add anything new to the mythos of Han or Han. Just flashy and a weak storyline. It's meh. Okay. I thought Donald Glover looked really cool in it. No expectations I had for Solo were exceeded, but it's original compared to the regular Star Wars malarkey, so it's fun. Alright. Neely's hilarious. Your Neely's awesome. Thank you. Nut Job 3 will be dustlicious. We can only hope. That episode of Baywatch is drawing near. Heard you might be doing a crossover with it. Any updates on that? Oh, the one with Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ric Flair, the Dungeon of Doom. Yeah, that's coming up. It's in season 6. I'm slower getting through the seasons because I'm doing Nights and Baywatch proper at the same time. But that's somewhere in the middle of the season, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna do a crossover on that with some great boys. Happy days are here again, or at least one of them. I don't think it's all of them, but yeah, if you guys know who that is, that's who's gonna be doing a crossover with me. I'm excited to do it. Those guys are great. Sasha K says, I wanted to stop by and say you're so funny and I love all the content you produce. Thank you so much. Oh, that's so nice of you. King Cool 2099 says, I'm from exotic and tropical Rhode Island. Talk amongst yourselves. It's neither a road nor an island. Someone's gonna get that. Warax the Chaos Warrior. Do young people actually watch the TV these days? Older might have been a safer choice. Yeah, I don't have TV now actually. It's all just streaming, but I think a lot of people are going that way. Yeah. I've been using Amazon Prime, checking out what they got there. Lots of random stuff. Anthony Carroll says, do you think there should be a Baywatch Nights movie with The Rock, and who the heck would you have as Lou Rawls? Lou Raymond, I think you mean. His Baywatch Nights character. Yeah, I think they should do a Baywatch Nights movie. The Baywatch movie that they did, the one with The Rock, the longer time passes, the less I like it. I mean, I liked it all right in the theater. It had sort of, like, there were some fun references, but it also had sort of a weak villain, and some of it, especially the advertising, is sort of like too in on the joke kind of thing. Like, they're trying a little hard with it. I didn't like a lot of aspects of it that were sort of just like the sex humor and the dick jokes and all that. Like, I felt like they were just resting too much on that when they had material they could have worked with. But I think if they did a Nights, like, that would be fun. I don't know, you can't imitate Lou Rawls. Lou Rawls was so great. Such a great personality with that guy. He seemed really fun to hang out with. Like, I don't know who he was as a person, but he seemed like a nice guy. So cool. So I don't know, I guess you just get someone really cool, laid back, get someone bluesy, you know? He had that great voice. Get some sort of blues singer. You have to have the blues slant if you're going with Baywatch Nights, even if you're doing the X-Files season, which, if you don't, I mean, why make a Nights movie at all? But you have to have that bluesy soundtrack, which I really enjoy about Baywatch Nights. I don't know why they decided to go back to the start with Star Trek. We've done that twice already. Yeah, I don't think they needed to do another prequel, because I don't think either one of them really is, like, using the prequel premise at all. So I mean, it would have been cool to see one that actually did any of that, but Neither of them do. You just gotta go on to, new frontiers. You don't need to. You have all of time in space. It's in the future. In any galaxy. You don't even have to have a human. You don't even have to have, like, they could have gone off into whatever part of the galaxy, like with an alien captain. You could have enemies working together. You've done tons of things with this, but just going back to that, well, I mean, what's the point? Especially when they don't seem like they really want to do that close to Star Trek. They change so many things. Warax the Chaos Warrior says, I'm a huge Trek fan. I love the characters on Discovery, but you're right about the storytelling. Plus, it's got all the hallmarks of a troubled production. That's unfortunate. Plus, I don't like super depressing shows either. It looks a little depressing, to be honest. Surprisingly, I've liked the Orville. I haven't caught up. I think I did finish the first season, yeah. I enjoyed that, surprisingly. But I think that's sort of like, kind of calling back to old school Star Trek. I mean, it really is just Seth MacFarlane's Star Trek fan show, like, the balls on them to do it. I hope I'm not putting lipstick all over my face. That'd be dumb. Embarrassing. I started watching Star Trek when I was in my 20s, so your perspective is highly entertaining. I started on Enterprise. I don't feel bad either. Oh, cool. Well, I started in my 20s too, so... Well, that's cool. I'm glad that it's entertaining to people, because I'm wary of just being repetitious when I'm covering something that's so well known. So I'm glad that things that I'm not as up on, are entertaining to some people. I'm glad to kind of finally be into the pop culture zeitgeist with Star Trek, because I knew about these things peripherally, and I'd seen some of these things on TV, but to actually be familiar with it, I really had a good time. It had a lot more depth than I gave it credit for. Lots of fun characters. So, I mean, it was great to finally be able to watch them. Even, like the early seasons of, like, Star Trek Next Generation that were crap, they were still fun. And Phelan enjoys Star Trek. He's a Star Trek fan, so it was nice to watch those with him. Scott Bakula is Han Solo's brother, Bron Solo. Yeah, I guess he could be his brother now, because he's old enough, like, for Harrison Ford's brother. There was this great bit in a Quantum Leap episode. There's this episode called Jimmy, which is really famous. Like, you've probably seen the memes where he's looking in the mirror and he says, "I'm retarded." Because that was the technical term back then. But the episode is very famous because he leaps into someone who has special needs, who has Down syndrome. And it's a very heavy, dramatic episode. They got a lot of stuff about, like, backstories of the main characters. So they got all this going on. But they have this very dramatic scene. And by the way, Michael Madsen's in that episode. He's like the villain. He tries to run over Sam with a forklift. But anyway, there's this dramatic scene that's a callback to another part of the episode where there's a nephew of the guy that Sam's leaped into, this little boy, who he reads this bedtime story to, and he starts telling him Star Wars. He starts, because the kid doesn't know about it, hasn't come out yet in the time that he's leaped into. And after the kid is in danger, like, he almost drowns, and Sam's trying to revive him, he goes, "Don't you die! If you die, you'll never see Star Wars!" I don't think it was supposed to be so funny, but it was really funny. If you die, you're never gonna see Star Wars. That should have been the meme. It came back, like, you're never gonna see Star Wars, like, with all the new Star Wars coming out, Any desire to see the recording of the infamous Broadway flop, Carrie the Musical? I would love to see it. I've been watching Riverdale, And oh my god, you guys need to be seeing Riverdale. It's so good. Riverdale is everything that Sleepy Hollow promised, right? Like Sleepy Hollow kind of like petered off and like just became a real disappointment, but Riverdale just goes for it. Like they have such conviction for all of the absurdity of this, taking Archie comics and putting them through this gritty, dark lens and the soap opera Machiavellian villains and all of this stuff. But it's fun in a fun way, and they did an episode all around Carrie the musical. Of all the musicals to choose at this high school, they're doing Carrie the musical as if a high school would let them do this anyway, and they're trying to solve this serial killer whodunit plot throughout the whole season, and that's interweaved with the characters singing Carrie the musical and paralleling things in their life, and it should not work, but it does. So fun. If you guys haven't been watching Riverdale, like, check it out. Season 2 just got on Netflix. It's a lot of fun. And I know they're doing like a Sabrina thing now. I hope that this interweaves with it and they got like supernatural slants. That'd be so good. Oh, King Cool got the coffee talk reference, the Rhode Island. Cool. Seeing Stockwell as the new emperor in Star Wars. Yeah, that'd be funny. It would be him playing his Sinbad Battle of the Dark Knights character, wouldn't it? Power! Unlimited power! I love that. I was so glad I got to talk to Elvis Restaino about the Bulgarian portions of that. Like, that was out of nowhere. All of a sudden, I'm talking about Sinbad Battle of the Dark Knights again, but I'm so glad that I was able to find out more about this movie, that it keeps giving me material, because just fascinating, and I want to see a documentary about it someday. It'd be great. If they remade The Nanny, who would you cast as the nanny? I don't know. I like Fran Drescher a lot. That's sort of her shtick, right? It'd feel kind of weird. Though, I mean, I guess they did make a lot of foreign versions of The Nanny. They made ones for different countries, starring their own nannies. So, I mean, I guess you could do it. Who would fit in now? Be a really good comedian now. I feel like it would have to be someone who's Jewish, right? Because that was so important to the character. But I don't know. I'm not as familiar. Like a Jewish female comedian. Maybe the lady who plays Gina on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't know if she'd have quite that shtick going on. Ooh, what if it was the lady who plays Rosa? She's really funny. She could pull that off. I've seen her do characters kind of like that. That'd be fun. Allison hired on as a consultant for the Baywatch Nights movie. Yeah, I'm the expert. Seems to me you're the expert. Someone from Scotland? Wow. Bunch of you guys from Europe? Is that the time, like, maybe everyone else in the States is actually, doing something? So maybe it is just good for European people. Well, good. You know what? I'm tired of you guys getting left out. I haven't done one of these in a while. I'm sorry that I haven't. I get busy and it goes all over the place, but I want to make sure that I'm providing something for you guys, like, because you're so generous and supportive, and I really appreciate that you guys want to support me monetarily. I'm just astounded anyone wants to support me in any way, so thank you very, very much. Will Arnett as Surly the Squirrel as Lou Rawls. Getting deep in here, deep. You're real Scottish, who doesn't have red hair and hasn't been strangled yet, Ian. Yeah, do you like that Scottish lady on the latest Baywatch Nights? Thank you very much, Destiny. What is that? Killed me. I was looking up stuff on that lady too, who played that Scottish lady, and she's some like either pet expert or pet whisperer or something. Kind of interesting lady. I just didn't end up putting it in the episode, but there's something about her. Yeah, he tried to kill him with a forklift. Ole! Yeah. I guess in a million years when I get to that episode, I'll have to do the I tried to kill him with a forklift reference. I just finished watching every single episode of MST3K. I'm glad I finally got through all of them, except for the one lost episode from KTMA. I watched all the KTMA ones with Phelan, and whew, it's difficult. But yeah, I'm glad I got to watch all of them, because I just picked ones that had interesting titles, and I'm glad I got to see them. Like, there was episodes that I wouldn't have seen just by title alone that were hidden gems. Like, I think Track of the Moon Beast was one of them. Like, it just sounds like one of those kind of black and white space ones that really difficult to get through. But no, it was some sort of 70s monster movie, and it was really funny. It just sounds like a chubby white sheriff's legend to me. We watched them backwards, which I think was the best way to go, because it started off when they really had it down, and then kind of went back into the ones where the jokes are a little less tight, and then when they're not even scripting it, you know, when it's a little bit harder to get through those. We watched those in faster speed, actually. Ian says, I'm waiting for the Sabrina spin-off, as the old show is my childhood. And yes, I know it's going to be the comics and darker, but still. I need to rewatch Sabrina. I remember liking it when it was on the air, and Salem really made me laugh. But I haven't seen it since it was on, really. I remember the movies. I remember they had one that had like a merman in it. Very strange. But I like mermaids, so I think that's why I watched that one. I like that one, I think. Riverdale's the best kind of trash. Yeah. Riff Chick didn't miss the chat. Hi, Riff Chick. I see you comment all the time. Hello. Someone sent a link to the recording for Carrie the Musical. Oh, thank you. Can we get Forever Nanny with all the nannies coming together to battle a huge enemy? Yes! Yes, let's do it! That'd be so cool. Will we see some werewolf-related movies in the future? Possibly a review of Dog Soldiers, maybe the greatest werewolf movie ever? Yeah, I should be doing more I love werewolves. I did a ton of them back in the OLP days, and I just haven't gotten back to a lot of them. I did Bad Moon. I'm in a real bad mood. I haven't done as many werewolf ones since going on. I want to do, there was there's a werewolf movie that Dean Stockwell was in called Werewolf of Washington, which is public domain, and it's super funny. I just haven't gotten around to it. I'd like to do something fun with it since it's public domain, but again, it's just a project to take on, you know. I don't know about Dog Soldiers. I've seen it. It was well made. I don't particularly feel like revisiting it though. A lot of people bring it up though, so I mean it's got a cult following. Fun fact about The Nanny, here in Italy they dubbed the series and basically turned Fran into an Italian-American woman called Francesca, changing all the references. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard in the adaptations they would change it to whatever different kind of thing was more topical for wherever it was. You know, like something that would make more sense for whatever country it was in. Yeah, so I find that very interesting. Shane McAndrew, do you think it would have been better if on Baywatch, if Eddie ended up with Court instead of Shawnee? They were the dream team, weren't they? I wish Court had stuck around. Honestly, I love that guy. I love John Ellen Nelson. He's so charismatic. He was really charismatic in Killer Clowns from Outer Space. He was the lead in that. He was the reason that I actually watched it, because I was so scared of it as a kid. It's still super creepy to me. but he's great. He stars in Sheena with Gina Lee Nolan, and I'm gonna watch that eventually because I would like to review it eventually. I'd like to cover a lot of these, shows by the Baywatch people in a million years. But I'm excited to watch that, like an action show with John Allen Nelson, because he's fun. There was a movie he did called Hunk, which is really fun. It's this 80s movie about this nerd who makes a deal with the devil to be a hunk, and so he becomes John Allen Nelson. He's totally ripped like he usually is, and he's got this frosted blonde hair, really goofy, but it's a fun movie, and that's another one I want to review someday, I guess. It's just what I'm always talking about doing things and then not. What episode of Mystery Science Theater is lost? The KTMA episode 3, I think, Fugitive Alien 2, which is one that they did later anyway. A lot of these KTMAs, like, they're fun to watch for, just to see what they're like, I'm spacing on the word. But anyway, they're fun to watch to see what they were like, but the riffs are not very good. In fact, the movies are pretty terrible to sit through, even ones that were funny. Like Fugitive Alien and Fugitive Alien 2 are classic Joel episodes, but the KTMA ones are like, whew, half the time not even paying attention. Like, they're not doing a lot of jokes, and some of them are just stating what's on screen. Kind of rough. But that's the only one that's lost at this point. There's some of them that were lost for a while, and then some people taped them and they found them, and they released a couple or a few of them when the new season came out. Joel released the master tapes of them. Riff Chick, your voices on Baywatching are so spot on, and I like your small touches like how you comedically show how recycled the footage and extras are. It slays me. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad this does me some good, because, I don't know, for a lot of people, a lot of Baywatch knowledge, not going to do them too good. How many seasons have you seen of American Horror Story? None. Never watched it. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever check it out. It looks like it's made really well. It's got like some good gimmicks, it looks like, but never watched it. Greg, I have a soft spot for MST3K Season 1 because it's where it started, so it's low-key humor. Yeah, I mean, some of them were pretty fun. There's one of them where, like, they're just fixated on Dairy Queen jokes for some reason. I guess they, I don't know, had a lot of Dairy Queen that day or something, or saw a lot of commercials. They kept going, Dairy Queen, we treat you right. I like the ones where they did movies because they weren't paying for the rights to use these movies at all, so they would do these ones that are way higher budget or kind of like out of the realm of what they would do when they were on Comedy Central and then Sci-Fi or the Comedy Channel. So I liked when they would do like the big budget disaster movies, like they'd like Death Flight and City on Fire, I think is what it was called. Those were fun. Death Flight, where they got Billy Crystal on the plane, and what's his face? The guy who plays Q, John Delancey, as like the asshole. Yeah. Or City on Fire had like Leslie Nielsen as the mayor. Big budget disaster movies, like the old school ones, are just really watchable to me. So even when the jokes weren't good, they were still fun to watch. We need a witchcraft series, like a TV series? Yeah, I joked about that when I was doing the original run on OLP. I'd love it if they got back Charles Solomon Jr. as William. He had an air about him, right? You just really like him, like this everyman who goes around punching his reincarnated mom, as you do. PMS werewolves. Yeah, we can only hope that that's something they regurgitate in the new one. What do you prefer fans call you? I still call you Lupa because Allison seems a little familiar. I'm fine with either one. I guess I tend to lean toward Allison because that's what I go by now in my videos. But if people call me Lupa, it's like, whatever. Deathstalker, yeah! Yeah, John Allen Nelson was Deathstalker, and he was in the one that they did on Mystery Science Theater. So if you want to see John Deathstalker Court in a Mystery Science Theater, look up their Deathstalker riff. Totally ripped in that too. Shane McAndrew, thoughts on the backlash on the Charmed reboot? I actually have more faith in this reboot in the original series. Then again, I only saw snippets on TV, and most of my knowledge is through you. Anytime there's a remake, there's always a backlash. I'm not so attached to Charmed that I'm offended anyway. And I think there are some Charmed fans that are kind of, I don't know, they're very defensive about it. Not all of them. I've found a lot of them that have a great sense of humor about the videos. But I don't know. Part of it's probably fueled by the fact that the actresses are upset about it. Like Holly Marie Combs, I've heard, is not too keen on this. I think because it was made without them and they own part of the rights or something, but they can just use the name and change everything else. So that might be why she's upset about it. I don't know. I mean, it's not sacred to me. You've seen my videos. They're not. It's not like this is groundbreaking television, guys. So maybe they'll improve it. Maybe it's funny bad. I hope funny bad, because it's kind of boring if it's just decent. So we'll see. Greg says, KTMA impresses me mostly because of Josh's quickness. He was 16 at the time. Was he 16? I had no idea. Oh my god. 16. Wow. Well, then I'm way more impressed than I was. Sometimes he would just state something on screen, but he did have some good jokes too. I liked him in they did one early one I really liked. It wasn't KTMA, but it was in season 1. That was it's called The Crawling Hand. I thought he had some good delivery in that one. That was fun. But I think they were scripting by then. Did you watch any old school Doctor Who episodes? Did you like any? Yeah, I used to watch some of them. I haven't watched a huge selection. I liked the 4th Doctor a lot. I don't know if I can name any of the episodes in particular now because it's been too long, but I liked him. Twitch is doing a huge classic Doctor Who marathon, coincidentally. Oh, alright, cool. Speaking of MST3K, your opinion on the new Netflix series? I like it. I thought they really hit their stride once they hit I don't remember the names of the episodes at this point. The one that was the kaiju one. Yeah, I think that was the one they hit their stride on. Maybe if there was a couple, it was the second one. I don't know, kind of midway through. It took them a while to finally get to a good pace. I think when they switched to Mike in the original one, they benefited from it being people that were already on their crew and people that were already writers and people that were already familiar with this stuff and knew what they were doing. Because in this one, I feel like all new writers, all new hosts, all new everything, except for Joel. I think he was still involved. But because they had so much new people, I think they really had to like just have some growing pains, and that would be like with anyone, no matter how competent. And I feel like there was too many hands in the pot. Like the jokes were just so quick. It was forcing you to pay attention to the jokes or the movie. And the movie was winning because it was just too much crammed in all at once. And I feel like as they went on, they improved their delivery and spacing them out more to you know, just have like fewer but better jokes rather than just rapid fire. So I'm looking forward to the next season. I'm glad they got renewed for another one. So I look forward to seeing it. I'm glad Mystery Science Theater is living on. I want to cordially invite you to riff a video with me. Should I ever riff videos again? Also, if we are ever in the same state. Hope to meet you at a con someday, though. I sometimes table. Oh, cool. Oh, thank you. I don't go to too many cons anymore, but yeah, look forward to seeing you if we're ever at one. Kitten with a Whip is probably the most non-MST movie to ever get an MST treatment, and it's a brilliant episode. Yeah, that one was surprisingly decent. Like, the movie wasn't really that bad from what I recall. I think probably their Hamlet one, or that one space movie that was like an Oscar-winning movie that they did. Those were both very strange MST movies. Yeah, I found that very weird. And they were both not very good either. Kitten with a Whip was good though. How's that Pepsi? It's good. I found out Pepsi Max, compared to like the regular diet wild cherry Pepsi, has like way more caffeine, like more than a Mountain Dew does. And I'm like, whew, that's too much caffeine. I don't need that much. I don't need that much caffeine, and yet I'm drinking it. Well, I didn't realize that till after I bought a couple boxes of it, but I think I'll probably just stick to the normal diet Pepsi wild cherry because I like it. They both taste pretty good, so. Have I watched season 3 of Ash vs. Evil Dead? No, I haven't. This goes back to what I was talking about earlier in the stream, in that I don't know. I find like when I'm starting these podcasts, I'm really excited, and then once you get to the season overall, is really when you can get an opinion on how you actually feel about it, because there's always kind of this feeling like with Ash vs. Evil Dead in particular. I was super excited to see Ash on screen again and to see more of his adventures, and I always thought an Evil Dead TV series would be great. And there's always this like, I really liked this. This was cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on next. And there's always that hope where you're like, okay, I think this is going to pick up. Like, I'm waiting for it to finally get to like its peak, right? Like, this is a good start, but I'm waiting for it to get to when it's actually become a good show. And I don't know if it ever reached that. Like, I can't say that it's a show I want to rewatch. Like, there was stuff I laughed at for sure, and there were moments, but there was this lack of sincerity with it that really bothered me, and some kind of skeevy stuff, especially with the advertising, which made me like it less the longer I was not watching it. And the season 2 ending was really bad, so I haven't watched season 3 yet. I think I will eventually. I'd like to see how it ended since it's been canceled. But I just didn't feel enthused to watch it and do a podcast. And the podcasts, if I'm not having fun, they're not worth doing because they don't get as many views as a video would. So that's why I haven't been doing them. I know that sounds like a bummer. I've heard there's some good things about it. Like, I don't hate it. I just don't know if Ash vs. Evil Dead really reached the potential that I wanted it to get to. Have you ever watched any of Dan Bell's Dead Mall series? He toured a mall where Legend of Billie Jean was shot and lined up the footage with the movie with his footage. So cool. Oh, that's cool. I think I saw one of them. I think someone linked me to it. It might have been you, actually, a while back, but I haven't really watched a bunch of them. But that's a really cool concept. I like that. Abandoned malls are really interesting. Maybe a question that has been asked before, but the name Obscurus Lupa, how did you come up with it? Where is it from? It was an old fanfiction pen name. And it was just something that stuck. Like, it's just how I went on the internet, and so I kept it. I think going back, like, if I could change how I did it, I'd probably just go by my name. I think that's probably the best, because I was never really a character. and no one knows how to spell it really. It's kind of confusing to people. but that's where it came from. Samuel Wright, I want to thank you personally because you hadn't been as public and open about your if you hadn't been as public and open about your experiences with CA, I don't think I would have had the bravery to stand up to my work for workplace harassment. Well, good for you. Good for you. No one should have to be in a shitty work environment. So I'm glad that worked out for you. Daniel Freinhofer, Ash vs. Evil Dead. I thought the third season was better than the first two in balancing horror and comedy. Well, good. Good. I hope so. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised when I watch it. Thank you, Allison. Yourself, Phelan, and Brad make the best and funniest videos, and they help with my depression. Aw, thank you. I'm glad to help, and I hope that things are going all right for you right now. Shane McAndrew, how do you feel about David Tennant, the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who? Love him as Kilgrave and Jessica Jones and Scrooge McDuck in the DuckTales reboot. Heard he was good in Bad Samaritan. Yeah, I like David Tennant. He was my doctor, so to speak. That's when I first started watching Doctor Who. First one I saw was, I think the Christmas one when he first showed up. But I didn't really know a lot about Doctor Who or what was going on. Just I thought it was some sci-fi movie about killer Christmas trees or something. I really enjoyed him. I liked him a lot. Sort of fell out of Doctor Who in recent years because, I don't know, it just felt like it was getting too kind of mean about things. Like, it just wasn't fun. But there's a lot of Doctor Who, so it's not like I didn't get to see a ton of cool stuff. And I mean, maybe things will be cool with this new one with the woman doctor now. Like, maybe they'll get some good stuff out of her. And 23 people. Only lost a few. Hopefully because they had other things to do and they weren't bored. That'd be a bummer. I think everyone fell out with Doctor Who in recent years, right? I don't know, Stephen Moffat. There's something about him. He did really great one-off things. Like, he could come up with some really cool concepts, like spooky dooky stuff. But like doing arcs, like, ooh, it's rough. The way that he writes women, rough. Ugh. River Song, I don't like her too much. Stuff with Amy, not great. Not great at all. You know? I feel like he got too in love with, like, trying to out clever himself, and I didn't care for it too much. Will I be back in Brad's midnight screenings? Maybe. I still hang out with Brad, for sure. I don't want to be on anything that's posted on Channel Awesome currently. But I don't think it's the end. I plan to be the 14th Doctor. A Mexican doctor with an American accent wouldn't work. Oh no, I got to the end of the chat. I caught up with all of it. Okay. Dead air. Did you ever watch BBC Sherlock? No. I think that goes hand in hand with Stephen Moffat's writing style. Like, yeah, that's a huge mess. I watched H Bomber Guy's really good video analyzing it. Like, he does really good long form videos, and so that was really interesting. And Sherlock does not seem like anything I'd want to get into. That's lengthy and boring. It looked like the same problems I have with Moffat's Doctor Who, like too kind of up its butt, the way women are written, kind of crappy, a little bit mean-spirited. Boomerang. Yeah. What's your opinion on the DC comic shows versus the DCEU? I don't watch a lot of comic book stuff. Everyone's asking me about stuff, and I'm like, I don't watch that. I don't do anything. Everything I do is like 20, 30 years old. No one knows about it. Everything I watch. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of comic book stuff. I don't even catch up on like the comic movies. Like I haven't even seen Avengers. Like I've seen I watched the first two Iron Man movies. I saw Captain America. I saw Deadpool and Guardians of the Galaxy. But I haven't really seen anything past that. And it's not that I wouldn't like them. Oh, I saw Wonder Woman. It's not that I wouldn't like them, but I just don't go out of my way to see them. And then like there's a ton of them, so I'm like, oh, I'm like kind of behind now. So I don't really watch the shows. I don't get too into them. Would you review the Hasselhoff version of Jekyll and Hyde the musical? I don't know about a review. I did mention it in way back when I did that video, 30 genre movies that don't suck. I talked about that because I like Jekyll and Hyde the musical a lot. I liked the Hasselhoff version. I thought he was really trying, you know, like he's a good actor. He's in a lot of really cheesy stuff, but he can do some really good things. And I like Jekyll and Hyde the musical. It's I like stories with that kind of theme about identity and battling within yourself, and that's Jekyll and Hyde. And I like musicals, so yeah. I guess that's my review of it. That's what I said in the genre movie video. Like yeah, it's on DVD. Like you guys should check it out. See Hasselhoff really singing his heart out. And he has, at the ending of it, he talks to the audience about, because this was a Broadway production, and how they really helped him out, and really helped him go beyond just saving people on the beach. So he seemed very grateful for the opportunity to learn and expand his horizons. And I know he's done other things since. He was in like this Peter Pan musical that they did, and I'm sure lots of other things, but that was one of the bigger things that he did as far as musicals and stage productions. Do you spend a lot of time in editing finding the most hilarious freeze frames for your videos? A lot of those have made me hurt myself laughing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like finding really stupid freeze frames because sometimes it's funnier than just putting it over the just the video going. Sometimes I spend some time on it. Usually, I mean, for Baywatch especially, they make a lot of stupid faces anyway. Sometimes when I'm just skimming for clips, I'll just land on something that looks funny, and I'm like, oh, I gotta save that and use that somewhere. So, yeah. Another question, is there any movie or TV series you definitely didn't expect to like because of its genre or actors involved, but ended up liking, or anything you were sure to love but didn't? Oh, you were sure you'd love but didn't. Star Trek was like that. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. Generally speaking, if I think I'm not gonna like a show, I'm not gonna watch the entire thing. I was surprised how much I liked the Orville. I went into it with an open mind, because it reminded me a bit of Galaxy Quest. Seth MacFarlane's kind of like, he can be very hit or miss, so I was wary of that. And the first episode's not very good of the Orville, but afterwards, I feel like they hit their stride and got comedy and drama balanced out with it, much like Galaxy Quest. So you feel like there's some gravity to things, but there are jokes in it as well, so it feels like Star Trek with jokes. Anything I was sure I would love but didn't. I tried watching that Teen Wolf series, the TV show, the MTV one, not the cartoon, as if anyone thought I meant that. It just felt like it was way out of my like age range. I felt like I was not the demographic for this. I didn't like their use of music. It was very kind of overwhelming, wailing nonsense music because MTV could use it. They were like, we have access to all of this, so that's what we're gonna do. It wasn't fun. Gosh, I look so greasy. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. It's very hot today. Brad and Laura made a recent retro video on Evil Dead 1. They're going to make one of Evil Dead 2. Would you join them for that? I don't think they'll ask me to join them for that. I think they've just been doing those on their own. But it's great. Laura's getting to see all of these movies that she never saw. She's so funny. I love Laura. she's so interested in this stuff, which is very kind of niche interest, but obviously she wouldn't love Brad if she wasn't interested in the things he was interested in. So yeah, I love hanging with them and talking about this stuff. And Evil Dead 2 is my favorite movie, but I already did a video on it, so I mean, you know my opinion on it. But yeah, I hope she likes it. I think she probably will. I think she digs that kind of stuff. She liked that movie, Nothing But Trouble, which I saw recently and didn't realize was like a horror comedy, and I really enjoyed it. And that's sort of that kind of humor. So I think if she liked that a lot, she'll like Evil Dead too. What was the last book you were reading? Oh, it was Jean-Pierre Dorliac's book. It was The Naked Truth, which I talked about plenty of times. He's the costume designer on Quantum Leap, and he wrote a book about his career from the 70s to the mid 80s, and lots of stories about working in costuming and the way costumes changed in old Hollywood from, you know, these elaborate period costumes into just getting things off the rack. And I found that very interesting. He talked about Somewhere in Time, which is this Christopher Reeves movie. It's very famous, and he did the costumes for that. That's what he was nominated for an Oscar for. And it was interesting hearing stories about Christopher Reeves, and that's all in there. I don't read a lot of big books because I'm always spending time on the internet, so I mean, you have to carve out time to read. But that's the last one I read. I have one sitting here that I'm gonna read soon. A couple of them, actually. Who knows when I'll get to them. It came from the video aisle about Full Moon Entertainment and Amazing Amusement Park Stories by Nathaniel Toll, who I saw on Twitter. I don't know if he still follows me or what. I just randomly saw his Twitter page, and I was like, I want to hear about like amusement park stories, like true stories that happen at amusement parks. That sounds really interesting. So I got those. Eventually, I'm gonna get to them whenever I find time for anything in my life. Okay. Would you ever be interested in doing an amateur movie project again, like Linkara's movie? Asking because I have ideas for a movie and I had some people trying to convince me to do one. Heck yeah! I love acting. I wish more people would ask me to act. Yeah, if you got a movie project and you're doing it and you want an actress for it, just hit me up. Yeah, if you're making a movie, if you're gonna be paying me, yeah, I'd love to do more acting. I had a lot of fun doing Lewis's movie, doing Jesus Bro, Ninja the Mission Force. I would love to do more of that stuff. Greg, I'm a look for supremely discounted LEGO Dimensions kits after this. If I find the Knight Rider set, shall I get you one? Okay, Greg. Yeah, thank you. I would love a Knight Rider set. That's a show I need to finish. I started watching it a while back, and then I went and did something else. I need to finish it though, because I was enjoying it. Is that something? Maybe I'll start watching that. Now that I've torn through some other shows while I'm eating lunch, you know. Instead of these true crime shows I've been watching these true crime shows, and they're addicting, but they're kind of make you feel bad, don't they? I was watching something called Deadly Women, all about murderers who are women, and they're fascinating, but every story someone's gonna die, so a little depressing. Thoughts on 80s Knight Rider? Well, I guess I went into that a little bit. I enjoyed what I saw a few, well, this is, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago at this point, I guess. I need to watch it again. I think it's more serious than Hasselhoff was in Baywatch, you know, like they were trying to make, you know, this action series, and there's a talking car, but, you know what I love about the 80s though, like, they take these ridiculous concepts, but they're so sincere about it, and I like that they commit to it, because anything that's kind of goofy, but they're just like, wink, wink, audience. We know it's silly. I feel like you need to commit to your premise. Like, I want to believe that this talking car and this guy are best friends, and that he's in danger. Like some gravity to it. I enjoyed it. Oh, and also, I was talking about Jean-Pierre Dorléac. He designed the jacket that the iconic jacket that Hasselhoff wears for Knight Rider. And Jean-Pierre Dorléac is my friend. Just I don't like to brag, but I guess I do. Hasselhoff can be very charismatic when he's given the right material. He can, genuinely, he is a charismatic guy. And Baywatch is very, very silly. But I've seen him in stuff where I genuinely thought he was great in it. And there's even Baywatch where he is really acting very good in it. Early Baywatch especially, when they were trying to be a show. But yeah, when he's given the right material, like, he can do it. I feel like he's discredited a lot because he's done a lot of really goofy things, which I love. I love his goofy stuff. But I think people forget that he is a well-trained actor who can do a lot of different things. Even in, like, that Final Alliance movie with the Puma, where it was just doing Walking Tall. Like, he had moments. He was a solid action hero. He did this movie called Avalanche. That was a made-for-TV movie, I think, starring him and Michael Gross, who I also love, and some other people I don't quite remember. And it was one of those, like, disaster movies. Like, they're trapped in a cabin after an avalanche, and Hasselhoff is the villain in it. Like, he's captured them there because, or he's they're trapped together, but he's like a thief who stole some diamonds or something, and so he's trying to get out of there. And so it's a survival movie. But evil David Hasselhoff is there trying to, he's got the gun on them, and they keep trying to kill him. He keeps coming back like the Terminator. And I love it. It was so fun. I think it's on YouTube too, if you want to look it up. Avalanche. I referenced it in a Baywatching once as well. Do you think Supernatural is going anywhere anytime soon? God, I hope so. Man, I think maybe. But they've said this before. I think they said that the season that they renewed for next time is supposed to be the last. Who knows? Man, I do not regret not watching that anymore. It was not fun. Not fun anymore at all. Any manic episodes in the works on Tales from the Crypt? I should. It's another one of those. I have a list. I have a list of movies, TV shows, whatever, that I want to do. This is just a small bit of them that I've written down, and it's just one of those things. Like, I have so many things I want to do, and it just keeps getting put on the back burner. But I would love to do stuff on Tales from the Crypt because I recently rewatched it, and it's a lot of fun. A really well made show, except for the last season, which is pretty bad. But yeah. If I did, it would probably just be like favorite episodes, maybe. I could do just a really bad one and highlight, one that's kind of funny bad or something. There's some that are pretty notoriously bad, but if I could ever find more episodes of that Tales from the Crypt game show, that'd be kind of funny to do a video on that. Faceless Critic, they gotta get dinner started. A pleasure hanging with you, Allison. You're awesome, one of the few that keep me motivated to make my own videos. Aw, thank you. Good luck with your videos. Have a good dinner. Supernatural is going straight to HFIL. It's a good reference. Is your cat nearby? Hello to her if she is. She's somewhere. I think I saw her slinking off into the shooting room. So she's probably cooling off. It's a little bit hot, you can tell by my haggard appearance. I'd put the AC on, but it's kind of loud. I don't know. It's either you get lots of background hiss or you get kind of greasy Allison. Pick which one you want. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm so behind. Tremors question. I loved watching it as a kid and often rented it. Would you call it a Western simply because it's based in perfection? I guess. It's Southwestern horror. It's Southwestern horror, which is great, because it's not a genre that's often explored. And you know what I like about it? Is that a lot of horror movies that you see are very dark, very desaturated, very gloomy and spooky and foggy. Tremors is just in the bright desert, very colorful. Um, and it's also like a survival movie, you know? Like, it's not just a horror, it's a survivalist thing. It's like Jurassic Park. Um, and it's a lot of fun. And I like seeing that kind of southwestern gothic going on. Um, so I don't know if I call it a western. I guess it's got aspects of it. The fourth one, for sure, is a western. It took place in the Old West. Radu. When will we see the next Radu review? I have no idea. You know, it keeps getting asked, and I keep saying, like, maybe whenever I feel like it, and then I just never get around to it. I don't know. He may never come back. It just, it just depends. It just depends. Man, I'm sorry. I just got a lot of projects going on. I love doing Radu, though. He always seems to pop up every few years or so. But, man, I hate the thought of doing it in the summer, though. Good lordy. All those makeup and wig and rubber gloves and all the black. Man. Phew. Radu will always live in our hearts. And the people at Full Moon are really cool. Someone that's involved with them sent me that book that I showed. It came from the video aisle. Very nice guy. You're a badass in disco. Please keep acting. Oh, thank you. I liked playing a drug dealer. It was a departure. I liked playing a villain. I want to play a villain. I want to play something really great. I don't want to be these like chipper, like, oh, it's me, Allison. And be like, oh, I'm gonna kill someone. I don't know. I liked playing that in Jesus, bro. And I guess I don't like just being a bitch all the time either. But a drug dealer bitch, that's something. Yeah, it was fun. How many crazy musicals have you seen? Like Rocky Horror, Shock Treatment, Xanadu, The Apple, or the abysmal Grease 2? I liked Grease 2. It's not a good movie, but I liked Grease 2. I've seen Rocky Horror. I don't think I've seen Shock Treatment, Xanadu, or The Apple. Oh. What was it called? Rock Aliens from Outer Space or something? It was with Pia Zadora. Something or other. That was a really weird musical, but it was fun. Like, I love the aesthetic of that movie. It's one of those really kooky, exaggerated 80s movies with just a bunch of neon and crazy future outfits, and that was fun. About these aliens that come to Earth to rock and roll. Let's see. I liked Evil Dead the musical. I saw that live in Phoenix way back when. I don't know how many I would like to see more crazy musicals, but the thing is, like, when you get into like schlocky musicals, sometimes you get the music's not very good, and it can be a little bit difficult to if the songs are bad. I must assume Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was your favorite Marvel movie based on the Hoff's cameo. I haven't seen it. I know Hasselhoff's in it, and I love that. I love that he was in so many movies in theaters all at once. So good for David Hasselhoff, but I haven't seen it. I'd probably enjoy it. I like the first one. What was the 80s series with a hologram which could do just about anything? Cursor? I have no idea. I don't know what that is. That sounds about right. Let's see. 80s hologram cursor. Automan? You thinking of Automan? I haven't seen Automan. It is about a holographic man. I bet I'd enjoyed Automan too. I've heard of it. I've not seen Body of Evidence. I saw Todd's review of it. That was really funny. Has Hasselhoff ever been a main slash regular character in an animated series? I don't know. I can't recall anything he's been that's animated, but he's had a long career, so it's probably not out of the realm of possibility he's done one, but I don't know offhand. Any more Goosebumps videos? Maybe. Those are fun. Around Halloween. I had fun with that. Nick Montalvo. So glad I became a patron today to watch this. Loved rewatching your Charmed in Witchcraft during bad days. I always wanted to support, but finally got the money to help support. Oh, thank you, Nick. Thanks. Oh, he's fresh. Fresh patron. Thank you so much. I'm glad that that people are wanting to hang out and throw some money my way. Much appreciated. Ever played the survival horror game Parasite Eve? No, I haven't. I'm not much of a gamer, to be honest. Should do Halloween specials or something like Radu, I guess. Yeah, that'd be funny. Thank you for your stream. Your work is great, but it gets really late and I have to go and try to sleep. From Russia with love and goodbye. Bye! Thanks for coming. I can't pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. I don't know the Russian alphabet at all. But thank you. Maybe in Brad's next Jesus movie you can be the Antichrist. Well, not if a certain someone is playing Santa Christ in it, I don't think. What's your opinion with Italian horror films? Mainly Mario Bava, his son Lamberto Bava, Lucio Fulci, and Dario Argento. I haven't seen a lot of them, to be honest, but they're beautiful. I appreciate them from a cinematic perspective. Like, cinematography is gorgeous. I really enjoyed the aesthetic of Suspiria. I love the look of it a lot, but I haven't seen a lot of them. Sometimes there's this sort of dreamlike quality about them. Suspiria did a lot of that, but a lot of them are like that, and aesthetically I can really appreciate them. I just have to be in the mood, I suppose. Thank you, Allison. You're really cool and to chat with, but I live in Scotland and I'm shattered and need bed. Have a good day. All right, thanks for coming, Samuel. Crossover with Lewis, Radu versus Morte. Yeah. We'll get Maven of the Eventide in here. Raven. You're shattered, you need Pepsi to get better. Yeah. That's the cure for anything. I've got like a cat hair or something floating around my face. I can't get it. Have you decided on your favorite captain? Kirk, Picard, Sisko, Janeway, or trained diplomat Jonathan Archer? Does anyone pick Archer? Maybe some Bacula moms. It's gotta be Sisko. Yeah. Sisko is so cool. Yeah, I like Sisko a lot. I wish Janeway had been better. I feel like most of Voyager, there's the potential there. They had great actors, and they had character types that they could have really worked with, but never quite came together. There's a subspecies comic coming out. Crossover potential. Yeah, I thought it was already out. I did write that down as something to check out. Maybe that'll be something Radu can come back for. What do you think? Radu reviews a comic? I'm excited to see it. I'm glad that Full Moon's still keeping Radu alive and well. Favorite Neelix episode? There was Neelix was super annoying, and which is funny because as a kid I remember liking him, but that should have been an indication because I always liked the most annoying characters. But rewatching it, There was a couple episodes that was really good with him. There was one, I don't remember what it was called, but it was him and Tuvok and this group that were trapped in this like tower or something that was like this ship that was going up. Um, and they had some good stuff in that. They did some good character work with him and Tuvok. And there was the best Neelix one is the one where it starts out where he dies, which sounds like I'm just trying to insult him, but it was good because he dies and they revive him, and he's having this crisis of faith because he realizes like he when he died he didn't go to this his race believes in this forest in the afterlife that they would go to, and when he doesn't go there he's questioning everything about himself and also about the family that he lost his entire family in this war, and what happened to them. And so he goes on this like spiritual journey about it, and there's this creepy scene where he's like going through this forest, but it's sort of distorted, and he sees his dead sister there, and she just looks so creepy, these crazy teeth and mohawk, and I thought that was a good Neelix episode. That should have been how they grounded the character more, because my favorite character type is the comic relief with a tragic backstory. Like I love the clown that's gonna cry, you know, and if you could have a character that's very funny, but they're still grounded in something, someone that has overcome tragedy like that, like that's fascinating to me, and that could have been Neelix. There were moments of it, but it just not enough. Yeah, but that's Voyager. Have you watched the Puppet Master series? Fun fact, Irene Miracle from Dario Argento's Inferno plays Dana Hadley in the first one. I have seen it. It's been a long time, so I can't tell you a lot about the specifics too much, but here's the thing. Any of the creepy puppet movies I don't get into as much. I know that Charles Band's really into that. There's sort of that uncanny valley thing that makes them very creepy to me, and not always in the service of the story. I get that they're horror movies, so they're supposed to be creepy anyway, but a lot of the time it's just sort of like, why? But Puppet Master, there's some of them that are good, some that are bad. It's a long-running series. I liked Retro Puppet Master a lot, the one with Greg Sestero. I know he wasn't that proud about his performance in it, but I thought he was good. He did it very understated. I think when he had to get, a little more fire into it, he was a little shakier. You could tell he was a little bit green, but I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed the two that were shot back to back, where the puppets became the heroes of the series. I liked those all right. Like I thought that they had a good story going with that. There was one that was just a clip show that was balls, just awful. I think I saw one of the more recent ones, not the most recent, but whatever, they were fighting the Nazis or something. That was pretty bad. Speaking of Suspiria, the guy who directed Call Me By Your Name directed a remake of Suspiria with Tilda Swinton and Dakota Johnson in an old abandoned hotel near here. Did they? I didn't hear about a Suspiria remake. Look that up. Oh, it's not out yet. Okay. Oh, alright. Maybe I'll check it out. Tilda Swinton's super creepy. That'd be great. I love that they used like the color scheme from Snow White and Suspiria, and that they had the music already made. That the band Goblin, I think's their name. They had already made it before the movie, so they played it as they were shooting a lot of the scenes, and so they were able to get into that atmosphere and that mood as they were, going down hallways. And the blood just looked gorgeous. When the one girl crashes through stained glass, and you just see her blood spread out. It just looks beautiful. And I really love the theme to Suspiria too. So creepy. It's a great music. What's the worst comedy you've seen? Why is bad comedy so much worse to sit through than, e.g., bad drama or horror? What is the worst comedy? There's quite a few bad ones. I'm trying to think specifically the worst. Maybe 2001: A Space Travesty. That's one I can think of, with Leslie Nielsen. There was a while back, Phil and I were just watching a ton of Leslie Nielsen movies back, because I grew up watching Leslie Nielsen comedies. I love him. And I remember that one being on TV and thinking it was not great. And it held up even worse than I ever could have imagined. It was an awful movie. I didn't understand comedic timing at all. A bunch of just random shit. Bad comedies are worse because comedy's harder to do, I think. Tragedies are kind of universal. If someone dying is sad. If someone's dying of cancer, it's sad. Like, no matter what language, no matter what person you talk to, generally, unless they're like a psycho, that death is tragic. But comedy is so subjective. Not everyone's going to think a pie to the face is funny. And when you see a bad comedy, when there's like so many misses, like, what are you getting out of it? Nothing. And like bad dramas, I mean, I don't want to sit through bad drama either, but like bad comedies, it just feels like they're just hitting you over the head with something and like trying so hard and being annoying. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. You pinpoint it's annoying. And like it's harder for a bad comedy to be so bad it's good as well. Like horror and dramas, you can find ones that are bad but they're laughable. Like if they Fateful Findings. It's supposed to be tragic that he's been hit by a car and in a coma, but they do it so silly. They're taking it so seriously, and it's hilarious. But when you get a bad comedy, you're just like, this just wasn't funny. Oh my god, shut up, Any desire to see the bad Christian film See Me Dance, which was reviewed by Diamanda Hagen and Hugo and Jake / Bible Reloaded. It looks hilariously awful and doesn't look as bad as Let There Be Light. Maybe. See Me Dance. I remember when that came out, before I was doing any of these videos, or maybe very early on. I was still working at a movie theater, so this had to have been 2008, 2009. So I probably wasn't even doing the videos yet. If I was, I probably would have saved this. But I was working at a movie theater, and we got a poster for See Me Dance. Even though we didn't get the movie, we would never get really small independent movies like that. But we got a poster for it, so I got that for free. I took it with me, and I didn't save it because, I was like, I've never seen this movie. Why did I take this anyway? I wish I'd saved it because now it would be kind of funny. But yeah, eventually I could watch it. That might be funny. I'm going to be wrapping this up pretty soon, so if you guys got any more last minute questions, just let me know. Oh, someone on Patreon said that he couldn't make it. Chris something, or I'm so sorry, I don't remember his name, and I don't believe that post is up anymore. No, okay, it is. Christopher Foster. He asked me to answer a question because he couldn't come to the stream. Who/how? I was wondering how you got introduced to Cynthia Rothrock. Thanks. It was because the first movie I ever reviewed for Obscure Sleeper Presents was Undefeated, and or Undefeatable. God. Undefeatable. Because it was making the rounds on YouTube, that fight scene with the guys ripping their shirts off and licking the blood off the knives, and it was so funny. And when I was starting the videos, I didn't know what I was gonna do, but that was a movie that I had on my computer at the time because I wanted to see it, and it was my real kind of foray into so bad it's good movies. And I didn't know who Cynthia Rothrock was at the time, I just thought that the movie was funny. And when I was going to a used movie store a little while afterwards, someone had to like just unloaded their Cynthia Rothrock collection, and I was like, oh, I know who that is. She was in Undefeatable, so I'm just gonna get a bunch of these and see what they're like. And eventually, I just started, digging into who she was, and she's great. I was glad to do Prince of the Sun not that long ago with Ed because I hadn't done one since I started doing these movie nights. I don't know. I just sort of, I guess I was just busy with other things, but I have a bunch of her movies sitting there to be reviewed. But again, things just kind of sit on the shelf, and I can only review so much at a time. So all these Q&As are just gonna constantly be like movies I'm talking about reviewing and then never do. But that's good. It's better than running out of material. That's the thing. Like I never want to be in that position like when way back when I started, where I'm like, what am I gonna review? I don't know. I don't have any movies sitting around. I'm not really inspired. I'm glad that I have a lot of things that I like talking about because I don't want to get bored. On a whim last week, I watched Blonde and Blonder starring Denise Richards and Pamela Anderson. It was exactly the kind of bad comedy you described and more. It sounds bad. I remember seeing that in the video store. Yeah, I remember when that was out. It's 0:44 a.m. here. That would make it 12:44? Yeah? Am I getting that time right? Alright, any last minute questions? I'm gonna give you guys, a little bit of time. Otherwise, I'm gonna be wrapping this up because I think we've been going long enough. But thank you, I appreciate everyone coming and hanging out. I hope that you guys are having a great day, great night. Gonna try and keep vocal with you guys so that you're getting your money's worth. I feel like I'm slumped in my seat. Is that too slumped down? Alright, I think that everyone has said what they want to say. Okay. Well, it's been great talking to you guys. Like I said before, hope you have a great evening, day, whatever time it is. And I'll be seeing you guys around. I appreciate you coming in. And just repeating myself now. Alright. I'll see you around.